In traditional music pedagogy, there is a myth that correct posture at the instrument, the weight of the hand, and the proper touch on the key are autonomous, self-contained concepts, existing as if in themselves. These elements are often considered without regard to the psychophysiological characteristics and natural limitations of a person. Teachers often focus on external forms, forgetting that every hand movement is driven by the work of the brain, eyes, hearing, and muscles. In the classroom, it is not uncommon to see experienced teachers literally manipulating a child's hands while their visual focus is not fixed on either the note or the key. Instead of allowing the child to consciously master the connection between the note and the key, the teacher lifts or weights the child's hands with their own touch. Fingers are pressed into the keys externally. This leads to strained sound production and internal tension. At the same time, the student is persistently told, sit up straight, relax, feel the weight of your hand. Be brave, the teacher encourages, as if the child could consciously control their fear of touching the key. By demonstrating how it should be done, the teacher achieves an imitation of muscle freedom in the beginner, but the problem becomes even more complex. The tension remains, hidden in a deeper form. Such an approach results in mechanical actions without an understanding of the process's essence. The shallow, unexpressive sound produced by the child is often perceived by the teacher as the student's fault rather than a flaw in the teaching system. Meanwhile, the real problem remains outside the scope of traditional pedagogy. What exactly prevents beginners from producing sound correctly? All these approaches of non-scientific music pedagogy overlook key aspects related to psychophysiology. How exactly does a beginner perceive the key? How do they interpret the note? And how do visual, auditory, and tactile perceptions transform into precise movement? The answers to these questions were provided by scientific music pedagogy, which presented accurate insights into visual motor delay. Measuring the lag between visual perception and sound production shed light on how confidence and precision in movement directly affect the quality of musical sound production. The use of visual and interactive note carriers, as well as animated images in the system, revealed that on the path to confident sound production, beginners face many hidden barriers. From difficulties in shifting their gaze from the note to the key to a lack of understanding of sound parameters such as duration and force. To help students overcome these barriers, the soft Mozart system created an interactive exercise called Butterfly. This piece, featuring a single note, visually demonstrates that a shallow touch on the key is an organic reaction of a beginner to the absence of a strong connection between visual and motor functions. On the screen, a large note symbol appears with a bright picture in its center, associated with the note's name. The child is already familiar with this picture, its sound, and its name, so the note is not an abstract symbol to them. The next step is to find the corresponding key on the instrument, where the picture is smaller. The child must press the key and hold it until the butterfly appears. If the wrong key is pressed, a spider appears, pointing in the direction of the correct note. If the key is released too early, the character Mr. Oops appears on the screen, reminding the child of the need to hold the note. This process shows how challenging a seemingly simple task can be for a child. Even shifting their gaze from the note to the key requires effort, as vision works through micro-movements of the eyes, called saccades. However, with each repetition, the actions become more confident, the delay between seeing and pressing decreases, and the sound is produced thoughtfully and accurately. The butterfly exercise demonstrates that learning to produce sound is not a matter of proper hand position or weight, but a complex process involving vision, hearing, and motor skills. The soft Mozart system is the first to allow for the analysis and understanding of each stage of this process, making learning not only more comprehensible, but also incredibly effective.